Meditations with Marcus Eulalia from Global South. Marcus Eulalia. Anyway, well, so the two exceptions from the two exceptions from movies with a good rhythm before the 70s. Right now, in the 2020s, which means 50 years ago, before 50 years ago, the only two exceptions of movies with a good rhythm are German Expressionism, which I said, Faust. The best example is Faust, maybe the only one. You'll see movies from the 30s with terrific images, a terrific photography, it's a terrific material. Of course, it's mute cinema. There's no sound, but the images are fantastic. And the second one, I leave it to the end because it's too well known. It's Charles Chaplin, and that's it. I'm pretty ignorant. I don't know all the movies, but I have this feeling about, for example, the Italian realism is too dry. I just want to say to make a critic here against Italian expressionism, because when people talk about Italy, people usually, at least that's my point of view. I have Italian citizenship. Maybe I can say something by my own experience of my way of seeing life. Maybe I'm not Italian at all, but what I think people think about Italians, about Italy, is passion and good taste and well-being, like good food, good art, good experiences. Understand, like passionate experience anyway. But in, like, for example, good food is like pizza, cannelloni, lasagna, anyway. Pasta. That's nice. Even Mursi, look at me. Well, and that's, I don't know if all these experiences are expressed not in movie, in cinema. When you talk about Italian realism, there's no passion, there's no well-being, there's no aesthetics. It's like punk, Italian realism is more like punk, but as I was saying, is a punk from the 40s. Is a punk from the 50s. Directors like Rossellini or De Sica. It's too dry. Once I take some Italian wine, and that wine was too dry for me. But of course, I don't know nothing about wines neither. But there's no Italian movies like Almodovar, for example. Almodovar is not Italian, so maybe Spain is better than Italy. Maybe Spain culture is better than Italian culture, or Spain rock and roll, Spanish music is so much better than Italian music. Understand? Well, Italy for me is like a mystery. I don't really. I've been watching some There's a awkward, at least for this is awkward at least for women. This like a Miss Universe contests in Italy, which calls Ragazza per il cinema, something like that. And well, of course, you see a lot of beautiful Italian women, or not so beautiful. I have to say the truth; they are not all of them are beautiful, and there's no diversity. So there's only white women who are not always beautiful. Well, so there's no beauty in Italy, I guess. there's no some there's not much beauty, and well, there's not much good culture, at least not in cinema, at least not in women. I'm sorry, but maybe beauty is always scarce, and that's the sad truth about beauty and aesthetics and cinema. And well, the worst thing about Italian cinema is the lack of good scripts. And in that point, I have to say that Spanish movies are so much better. There's so many Spanish directors. But as I was saying, these directors are not from the 60s, understand? All the Spanish industry of cinema, they are after the 70s. You in the ignorance, you may do very stupid critics, like if you saw any movie from a Spanish director and you don't really know where, if you don't research anything, you probably will miss the dates. And that's what happened to me some month ago when I was watching some Spanish director, which I don't remember, and which not so bad, and maybe, but I don't remember right now. But there's plenty of Spanish directors, plenty of good Spanish directors, but not so much Italian directors. That's my critic. You may say Visconti is a great director, but not all the movies are good. In fact, the only good movie about Visconti, the only one, is Rocco and Rocco and their brothers. Anyway, there's the only one. And well, I don't like the Zika because it's realism. Italian realism is like punk and slow punk. What do you think about slow punk? Absolutely boring, isn't it? What do you think about Rossellini, Italian realism? Anyway, so I pretty give up on Italian realism, but the good thing is this movement was so long ago. This is so old. It's so old. You can find movies on YouTube, I guess. But in my opinion, it's just like Fernando Trueba said once. Life is tragicomic. It's tragedy and comedy. There's no realism, understand? When people say realism, like making a documentary, this is absolutely boring. This is like, there's no humanity there. There's just animals missing all life, Oh, there's nobody open the bakery. We want bread. We want bread. And well, and that's it. I forgot everything. What I was saying. So when you see Italian well, of course, as I was said before, If you heard the word Italy or Italian, you will remember pizza. Yeah. So you may think we will see a tasty movie just like pizza. Understand? I guess that's what people thinks, but that's not reality. At least not from Italian realism. Italian realism is like slow punk, and doesn't exist. And just like Fernando Trueba said, realism does not exist. It's just whatever phenomena exists in life is either a tragedy, which is you can regret about it, or is comedy that you can laugh about it. Or in comedy, even you can love maybe on comedy, and love may be a tragedy too. So that's it. Life is always tragedy or comedy, and you may be probably someone will say life is not that, but to me it works fine. At least this is boring, so is a tragedy. I'm bored, so this is a tragedy. So all these documentaries about tragedy. But if you can laugh about something, anything, that's comedy, and that's it. Life is binary. So yeah, Italian cinema doesn't exist. the only Italian movie whoever existed, it is Rocco e suoi fratelli, and that's it. And the only two, well, maybe I'm ignorant in everything, but I will keep going criticizing. The only two good movements with a good rhythm before the 70s are German Expressionism with movies like Faust, and Charles Chaplin.